This is Comtex.
Good afternoon, Comtex.
Russell told me I had a very, very important...
Comtex sells photocopiers and other office equipment. The office equipment business is very competitive, all about making the sale.
It's about photocopiers.
Dear, isn't it? A bit expensive for you. No, I can do something better than that, much better.
The moving force behind the company is sales director Tony Spence. For him, selling is everything.
We've got to ship that one, that one, that one, that one, the whole bloody lot. And if we don't, we don't. We're going to be broke. It's as simple as that.
2 years ago, Tony Spence believed that the company was failing because his sales force lacked the right technology.
Oh no, what we're operating from? Yeah, look, that's it, 1995 technology. We're operating from fucking index cards. Handwritten, they don't know their alphabet, so they don't know how to file it. Do your alphabet now. See? Look, it isn't got a clue. The sound I want to hear is that. Every time that goes, that means we've got a sale. But I'm not hearing it.
To solve the problem, Spence argued strongly for the introduction of a computerised customer database.
This company is a sales company. It lives by what it sells. Now, if we don't get this database sorted out for our sales team first, so that they can operate out there where we get the money to pay our wages, we're
They finally installed a system tailored to their needs by computer consultants. It was meant to tell their salespeople everything they needed to know: the name of the customer, when to contact them, the kind of product they were interested in, and the history of Comtex's previous dealings with them.
You can see that in '94 we first had contact with them, and at that time they expressed an interest in printers, but they didn't have any budgets at that particular time. And if I move down, we can see that there's still no change with the company, but we're still pursuing the matter, so hopefully at some point they will purchase something from us.
The new system cost Comtex over £200,000. At the time, Managing Director Mike Hughes hailed it as a success.
They've done an extremely good job. We've been very, very pleased with their activity, and they've introduced one or two features which, with their experience, we hadn't previously envisaged, but it's obviously going to be much more beneficial for us in the long run.
But 2 years later, things look very different.
I think the database system, since we've had it 2 years ago, has been a complete bloody disaster. It's been awful. Now, the first reason is the salesman. Now, they're either too stupid or too lazy to put the correct information into the database. That means when we're accessing it, we're getting nonsense out of it. We're getting information that's so complicated you can't understand it. It's a waste of time. The second one is those consultants that we got in from that computer firm. They just didn't understand the copying business. We should have brought in somebody that was very, very familiar with photocopiers. We're working on two different levels, you know. There was no communication there at all. And the third point is that it's the negative side of why we're here today. We're wasting time. We've been focused on that database for the last 2 years, when we should be focusing on selling, selling, selling. And that's why we're in street. That's why we're in the state we are today, because we're obsessed with the database. So this is what I propose. I propose we go back to a manual system. We go back to the old index cards. They worked 2 years ago, and they'll work now. That's it in a nutshell.
Sales manager Sharon Andrews has a counter-proposal.
I agree with Tony that the present system isn't working at all. But what I feel has been happening is that we've actually concentrated in the wrong area. We're using the technology within the office to try and provide information for senior management, and what we actually need to be doing is taking the technology to the salespeople, the people at the sharp end of the business.
Sharon's idea is that each salesperson will get a laptop computer. This will give him vital information, such as details of past contacts with the customer. And if he persuades the customer to buy, he can print out contracts on the spot. This is a decentralised approach, putting computer power in the hands of staff rather than management. It would represent a complete reversal of Comtex's current approach.
They'll have all the information about their customers there, where they need it. They can key in any new information on the spot. They don't have to be bringing scraps of paper back to the office and then putting it all into the system.
Who have you been talking to, eh?
So then, I haven't been talking to anybody.
You have been talking to computer salesmen, haven't you? You have. The salesmen have been at you. It stands out a mile.
It's been used by other companies effectively, and we have to embrace the
Have they
technology.
given you a fixed price and a fixed time in which to do the job?
No,
of course they haven't.
Look, it hasn't gone that far yet.
Because you never will get that information of computer salesmen. You never will. You'll get an initial price, and they're like cowboy builders. They'll come in and they'll put something on that, an extra on that, an extra on that.
That
and you
may
need
be
one of
how
those.
you
You need one of
operate,
these.
Tony, but not
And they'll go,
everybody uses your ethics.
it's like
in
throwing
business.
good money after bad. We must go back to the old system and to the index cards if we want to keep this company afloat.
cannot
We
go
can't
back to
throw
the old
more
system.
good money after bad money.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, I can see what Tony means, but at the same time, I think we need to move forward. We just can't afford to stagnate. I'm very uncertain about scrapping the whole IT system that we've spent so much time on.